Can you imagine Kamala doing this show?
I could imagine her doing this show.
She'd be laying on the floor.
She was supposed to do it, and she might still do it, and I hope she does.
won't do it.
I will talk to her like a human being. I would
If
try
she
to have a
did this kind of
conversation
an
with her.
interview with you, I hope she does, because it would
Me
be.
too.
She'd be laying on the floor comatose. You'd be saying, "Call in the medics."
I think we'd have a fine.
So she'd be
I wouldn't try to
Kamala
interview her. I just try to have a conversation with her.
Kamala be on a lot of pan.
Oh, man.
If she doesn't have a teleprompter in front of her, she f***ed up.
I think
Have you
Joe
ever
will
seen
get
them
to
where-
a point where he's saying, like, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, let's stop bullshitting me. Like, she doesn't know how not to lie.
Well, did you see the one cope?
But there's a video of her where the teleprompter breaks down and she doesn't know what to say. She starts just doing her word salad shit that she does, like where she said, what was it?
Is that when she says that it's really hard to see the teleprompter?
No, it just stopped working.
It was somebody today. I saw a video today where somebody was like, I'm sorry, I didn't think it was Kamala, but it was like somebody endorsing her. She's like, sorry, I can't see the teleprompter. Did you see that video?
No.
I don't
Let me
think so,
see if I
no.
can find
Not a
it.
surprise though she'd say that.
No, I seen the one that Flash is referring to though.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. The one cope they were having was like, they're like, oh, they gave Trump the questions up front. I'm like, so have they and Kamala on every goddamn interview, and she still can't answer a straight question.
Hopefully get to know her as a human being. That was my goal, having her on, trying to get her to express herself just as I don't think these formats are good. I don't think that two people, first of all, I hate the idea of the presidential debates because I hate the idea of a time limitation on complex ideas. Also, you have to break.
I think you have to have the debates, though.
Right, but the way they do the debates, I think, is the wrong way to do it. I think they should have a conversation. I think you and Kamala, you sit across the table with no one in the room but the two of you. Of course.
I actually like that idea.
It could never happen.
No.
For the same reason you couldn't sit down with somebody who's woke and get a word in because they think talking over you is winning the argument.
It's like, well, you've seen the video of Ben Shapiro, right?
Oh, with that.
Is this the one with the guy saying he has a vagina?
Well, yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm the man now. It's like, that's how that would go.
Like this?
Yep.
That's how that would go. So
no, you're right. This is the abolishing of the
Reed
income
stuff
tax, which I don't know how anybody does not get excited about this idea. You know how much extra money you would have if we got
I feel
rid
like
of
they
this
make it up with the
fucking
sales tax or something.
They would, but you don't have to. I mean, have to get some stuff.
Did you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs?
Well, okay.
Were you serious about that?
Yeah, sure. But why not? Because our country was the richest relatively in the 1880s and 1890s. A president who was assassinated named McKinley. He was the tariff king. He spoke beautifully of tariffs. His language was really beautiful. We will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs and take our factories and take our workers and take our families unless they pay a big price. And the big price is tariffs. And he'd speak like that, but he was right. And then around in the early 1900s, they switched over stupidly to, frankly, an income tax. And you know why? Because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Please don't. Believe me, they control our politicians. If you look at the kind of numbers that these guys make.
I thought this was really good. Check the link that I put in the private chat, Flash, before you
share the video.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
This is getting caught by the teleprompter.
Pull that up.
Hold on. It's not Kamala, though, but it is her rally. Here.
Been empowering for me.
Who is this?
I'm having a hard time seeing it, guys.
I don't know, some hoe that Kamala's running with or use it that wants to support
Jesus
Kamala.
Christ.
To encourage young,
She looks like Botox queen.
Some harpy.
Yeah.
Some people were saying it
Some
was
harpy who wants to murder children.
Some people were saying it was Beyonce's mom, but I don't know about that.
So I always got more publicity than other people, and it wasn't like I was trying. In fact, I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild shit.
Maybe.
You said a lot of wild shit, and then CNN, in all their brilliance, by highlighting your wild shit, made you much more popular.
Yeah.
And they boosted you in the polls because people were tired of someone talking in this bullshit pre-prepared politician lingo. And even if they didn't agree with you, they at least knew whoever that guy is, that's him. That's really him. When you see certain people talk, certain people in the public eye, you don't know who they are. You have no idea who they are. It's very difficult to know. You see them in conversations. They have these pre-planned answers. They say everything. It's very rehearsed. You never get to the meat of it. One of the beautiful things about you is that you free ball. Like, you get out and you do these huge events, and you're just talking, and you're making. We've highlighted you on the show many times when you did this Biden impression where he's walking around, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's funny. It's stand-up. It's funny stuff. But it's like and you were making fun of Elon one time. You were doing an Elon impression. It's great. You have like comedic instincts. Like when you said to Hillary, you'd be in jail. Like that's great timing.
Yeah.
But it's like that kind of stuff was unheard of as a politician. Like no one had done that. And I think
it's funny. You need at least the attitude of a comedian when you're doing this business. This is a very dangerous business. First of all, it's a very tough business. When
it's the most dangerous business.
It's the most, for a job.
Yes, I mean, other than going to war and being a firefighter or being a cop.
Yeah,
it's the most dangerous business.
It's the most dangerous. Being president is the most dangerous.
Especially you. I mean, you haven't even got to the election. There's been 2 assassination attempts, and they've brushed those out of the news.
I like what he said about
I'd rather not talk about them.
Imagine if there was assassination attempts on Biden, how hard people would be attacking the right.
Oh,
how they would be.
Before we get to that, I just want to say
away
the
from
comedian
people.
thing, he is right, because like if you think about it, it was a wisecrack that basically ended Biden's career. It was the moment where Trump says, "I don't even think he knows what he's saying."
Yeah,
like that's the moment that he ended everything. That was it. That was the moment it all came crashing down.
Yeah.
And then he got attempted assassination. Like that was like not even that far apart, was it?
No, like
from
a
the
matter
debate
of a week,
to the assassination attempt. Does anyone remember that time?
Like a few days, I think it was, wasn't it?
I can't even remember.
I think that was that following Saturday after the debate. So I think the debate
I like
was
what he
Sunday.
says about the JFK assassination, how he's just going to release.
Yeah, he's like it.
Yeah, it's time.
And all the UFO shit that they had.
UFO stuff, yeah. I don't think he was telling like the complete truth about like what he knows.
Well, I'm sure he's sworn to certain things he can't. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, that would be violating the whole thing they tried getting him with the paperwork.
Yeah, classified information.
Classified, thank you. Yeah, classified information. Yeah.
I think what Rogan gets at is how aware Trump can be of his audience. And that's very important to a comedian because the audience changes and sometimes you need to mold the material to suit them. And, Kamala is whomever, she's whomever the teleprompter tells her to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have all of these compilations, Brady Bunch style, where she's saying hitting the same points in the script word for word. And it likens back to, if you remember, Sinclair Broadcasting had a bunch of news anchors delivering this identical script, which as far back as like 2018, that was making its rounds on the internet, where they're all saying the same thing and what a threat that is to our democracy. If you're like me, you've been silenced. You know inauthenticity when you see it. And if, like South Park would refer to presidential candidates, it's a choice between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. You're going with the worst. And the one that's inauthentic, for me, is the worst. And that's Miss Teleprompter, that I don't even like to speak the name of, because I don't really get into this politics stuff, but it got into my video games. So I guess that's...
And as
what I'm
somebody who
doing
comes
there.
from the background of broadcasting, I will say this, and this is not in defense of, them.
Turner or Sinclair?
Sinclair, this is in defense of anybody who had to do this without wanting to do this, because the way this works in media is you're given what's called rip and read material. You cannot deviate, change it, editorialize it in any way, shape, or form. Unless you're doing a specific editorial. Like when I worked in radio, like we would get this stuff that would come down through the wire, and it's like you rip it, you read it, you don't change any of it. So like that's kind of where I think a lot of that came from, but you're not wrong on that. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you're just kind of stuck in this mold of like you have no choice. You either do it or you're not going to be there the next day. Like,
I
that's your
agree.
choice.
That's a situation a lot of developers are in where, they know this sucks. They'll even leak that it sucks to warn people, but there's nothing that can be done. And I'm just, in the same way, sometimes woke doesn't really care about what the real story is. They care about how it looks, because they know that the most attention they'll get is initially, and then everybody will stop caring, so they could even make up a lie. And as long as it gets everybody's attention in that moment, that's how all of this is striking me. You're seeing all these deranged, and that's the true word for them. They're just deranged. And it's such a bad look for that side, if you will, that people don't even care about the specifics. They just know this is awful. And whatever they are, I don't want to be.
Why is the chat mad at Temple?
No idea. Well, wasn't that whole thing this week that he?
I don't watch the show, so
yeah,
I don't.
I didn't really. Get
The only
into it.
Tim Pool show I technically watch is Pop Culture Crisis.
Oh, you can watch. You're a Chicken City guy, aren't you?
I like those. I like Brett. Brett's been on the
Brett's
show a bunch of
good, yeah.
times. I like their show,
Yes.
so I don't watch. I don't. I've never really been into the Timcast.
No, me either.
I mean, it's fine if you guys like. I don't have a problem with him or anything, but I just.
I'm more like to listen
I'd
to
rather
Rogan.
watch. I'd rather watch Jeremy do his thing if I'm gonna watch. But I'm gonna pick. I'd rather watch Jeremy go over a Trump rally than watch Timcast.
Yeah.
He doesn't like. He brings interesting people on, and then he doesn't let them talk. That's just him talking the whole time. Anyway.
I put a link in the chat, Flash, for Rogan's response
Temple
to having
quit?
Trump out.
Temple
Having
quit.
Trump
He
on?
just
Yeah,
just
that's
did
what I
a
was saying.
show.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna quit. That's the whole thing, or whatever. Yeah,
Oh, he is gonna quit.
I
Why?
think so. He announced
He's making
it.
millions of dollars a month.
I
Tim
think
Pool
like,
probably makes $1 million a month.
I have no idea. I
Oh,
don't know.
easy.
I haven't
In
been
ad
keeping up
revenue,
with it.
he's making $1
No.
million.
I'm saying
a
why
month.
he quit. I don't know. I'm just telling. I'm just delivering the news as I've heard it. So yeah.
He makes
Tom's
a
gonna be
lot of
taking
money.
over.
Not just in super chats, which he is the number one. I think he's usually the number one super chatter every day. But he also makes a
that.
shitload in ad revenue too, because he has like 3 channels and puts clips and regular videos up. He makes at least from a $500,000 to $1 million of revenue every month.
Well, someone
I
correct
guarantee
me
it.
if I'm wrong. I think the big thing is he let his whole team go, and everybody's speculating that he's going to take like a couple months off, and then he's going to come back because he's having a baby or something like that.
Oh well, that I totally understand that.
And I think that's logical, but yeah, I don't know. Plus, a lot of the drama that's gone on in the last year and two, I'm sure it's taken a toll on him.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, there's no way he quits. There's no way. Why would you do that? You ride it to the rails roll off if you're making $500,000 to $1 million a month.
I guess
You know what
he's
I'm
going to
saying?
continue to do his morning show, is what they're saying in the chat. So